Am I wrong for refusing to cover for my hungover boyfriend? I have been dating my boyfriend for a little over a year, but last weekend he put me in a horrific position. That entire experience was so terrifying and irresponsible that I'm honestly still shaking just thinking about it right now. He has 2 young kids from his previous marriage, a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. They stay with us every single weekend, and I have always tried my absolute best to be incredibly supportive. I have consistently focused on being welcoming and helpful to everyone whenever they are around our family home. But last Saturday, everything went completely sideways. Around 6 in the evening, my boyfriend told me he was running out for just an hour to help a buddy move some heavy furniture. He left me alone with both of his kids. At first, it was no big deal. I figured we would hang out, watch a movie, and he would be back by the time they needed to get ready for bed. But an hour quickly passed, then 3 hours passed, then 6 hours passed. By midnight, I was frantically texting and calling his phone, but he was barely responding. Finally, right around 12, he sent a single cryptic text message that read, "Phone dying, be back soon." And then his phone went completely dark. He never came home. Meanwhile, the kids were absolutely exhausted, and they kept asking me where their dad was. The 6-year-old actually started crying hysterically because she was convinced something terrible had happened to him. I had to look into the eyes of 2 terrified children and pretend everything was fine, all while I was secretly panicking myself. On top of that, I had a major work shift early the next morning, and I was starting to feel completely abandoned and trapped in my own home. By 7 o'clock the next morning, he still was not back. I tried calling him over and over again, but it went straight to voicemail. At that point, a wave of pure panic washed over me. I am just the girlfriend. I have no legal rights, I am not their parent, and I had absolutely no idea where their father was or if he was even alive. I had a responsibility to get to my job, and I could not legally or morally just leave 2 young children alone in an apartment. So I did the only logical thing left to do. I called his ex-wife. I laid out the entire situation honestly. She was absolutely furious, but thankfully, none of that anger was directed at me. She got in her car and came over immediately to pick up her children. While she was packing their bags, she actually kept apologizing to me. She told me that this was not an isolated incident, and that he had a history of disappearing overnight when he was supposed to be watching his kids. My boyfriend finally rolled through the front door around noon looking incredibly hungover and disheveled. Instead of apologizing to me for leaving me stranded, he immediately lost his temper and started screaming at me. He accused me of intentionally embarrassing him and dragging his ex-wife into our private business. He told me that I should have just been patient and waited for him to wake up from his sleep. He defensively argued that he obviously was never going to permanently abandon his own children. Now, his friends are actually taking his side and sending me incredibly hostile messages to protect him. They claim that I crossed a major line by involving his ex instead of handling it privately. But I genuinely want to know what else I was supposed to do after being left entirely alone with someone else's children for almost 18 hours. Am I truly the jerk for making that phone call?